Now that you are familiar with the basics of adding and modifying parts, let's start building the basic airplane model. This tutorial will walk you through the other tabs on the fuselage and wing part browsers necessary for modification. The first step towards building a model is to add a fuselage. In VSP, there are actually two options for modeling the fuselage, denoted by Views and Fuse 2. Let's start by looking at Fuse. There are three tabs specific to Fuse: Shape, Profile, and Cross-Section. In the Shape tab, these parameters will affect the fuselage as a whole. Use the sliders in the Global Shape Parameters section to change parameters such as length and camber. The Inner Mold Line section is primarily used for jet transports to set a wall thickness, and then see how much room is left inside the fuselage for passenger seats, cargo, or other equipment that will be stowed. The Profile tab will affect individual interpolated cross-sections of the fuselage. You can use the arrows next to Cross-Section ID to access each interpolated section. The Cross-Section tab will allow you to change the shape and size of each hard cross-section, as well as to add or remove them. Now let's look at Fuse 2. Select Fuse 0 and then hit No Show. Select Aircraft, then find Fuse 2 in the drop-down menu and add it. As you can see, there are only 4 tabs for Fuse 2. The main difference between the two options occurs in the Shape tab. This tab allows you to alter the tangent lines of the fuselage on the top, bottom, left, and right side. This is not possible with Fuse. Go to the Geom browser, select Fuselage 0, then hit Cut. Select Fuse 0, and hit Show. We will use Fuse 0 for this basic model. The next step is to start adding wings. Select Aircraft. Locate MS Wing on the drop-down menu and hit Add. Adjust the view of your model by pressing F8. As you can see, there are 4 tabs specific to MS Wing: Planform, Section, Dihedral, and Foil. You will use the Planform tab to change the overall parameters of the wing, such as the span and the area. The Section tab is where you can add and remove sections of the wing and alter sections individually. Dihedral tab will allow you to alter the angle between 2 joints in the wing. And the Foil tab will allow you to change the airfoil shape of your wing. Now that you have been introduced to the tabs used for modifying wings and the fuselage, let's build a basic model of the airplane. First, let's rename the parts already on the Geom browser. Name Fuse 0 Fuselage. And MS Wing 0 Front Wing. Select black for the wireframe color in order to differentiate it from the fuselage. Now let's modify the front wing. Go to the Section tab and delete the 2 outer sections. Do this by accessing Section 2 and hitting Delete twice. Section 0 should be the only one remaining. Using the sliders, change the span, tip chord, root chord, and sweep. to create a wing similar to the one shown here. Go to the Dihedral tab and change the value of Dihed 1 to angle the wings. Finally, go to the Transform tab and move the wings back towards the center of gravity using X-Lock. The front wing is now set. On the Geom browser, we will use the buttons Copy and Paste to create the horizontal and vertical stabilizers for the empennage. Select Front Wing and hit Copy. Then select Aircraft and hit Paste. There should now be a second front wing at the bottom of the list of parts. Select the bottom one. To avoid confusion, go to the Gen tab and label it Horizontal Stabilizer. Make sure the name changed in the Geom browser as well. Go to the Transform tab and move the horizontal stabilizer back towards the end of the fuselage using X location. Go to the Planform tab, change the span to decrease the size of the horizontal wings. Go to the Dihedral tab and change the value of Dihed 1 to an angle higher than what was for the front wing. Now we will use the horizontal stabilizer to create the vertical stabilizer. On the Geom browser, select Horizontal Stabilizer and hit Copy. Then select Aircraft and hit Paste. Select the second horizontal stabilizer and rename it Vertical Stabilizer. Go to the Transform tab and for symmetry select None. Then rotate it about the X-axis by 90 degrees. Go to the Dihed tab and change the value for Dihed 1 to 0. You can use your mouse to rotate the model around. As you can see, you have completed a basic model of an airplane. Let's review what you have learned. You were shown the different tabs used to modify a fuselage. You learned the difference between the Fuse and Fuse 2 option. You were shown the different tabs used to modify an MS wing. And finally, you built your first basic model of an airplane.